Explore your thoughts. Learn what you think you already know. We're taking you on a journey to the other side. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to The Other Side. We have a special guest today. His name is Kirby Roy. You probably all know him. He's the president of the police jury. The main thing we want to talk about today is the reason we invited him here is specifically for the upcoming election, the two tax proposals that are on the ballot. One is a 7 millage property tax, and the other one is a quarter-cent sales tax. We're going to get him to break that down. I'm coming into this undecided. I'm not a yay, I'm not a nay. That's why we have him here. We're going to keep it respectful. Please keep the comments respectful. We're going to have this on YouTube as well. So those of you watching on YouTube, you can put your comments where it can be seen on Facebook, but please be respectful. Remember, keep your comments limited because we're only talking about the taxes, nothing else. Also, let's introduce him, Mr. Kirby Roy, my special guest. How you doing today? Thanks for coming on. By the way, it's very important that we do this, and thank you for coming. I believe a lot of people will watch this. It's something different as opposed to your traditional newspapers or whatever. A lot of people on social media, and I think this is good, groundbreaking for you to get your message out on all this. So welcome to the program.
Thank you, Lance. And if you want to call me coach, I know a lot of people call me coach because I coached at Marksville and Hessman for years and years. You're welcome to continue calling me coach if you want.
I sure will. Okay, so we'll keep it brief. People don't have a whole lot of time, so let's just jump right in. So there's a lot of questions. Personally, myself, whenever I hear about taxes, I freak out. No, I don't want taxes. I don't want, taxes sound big. So that's why we have you here to explain your end of it on why we would need it. So first off, why do we need more taxes?
Lance, nobody likes to pay taxes. We like to get our paycheck and we like to see the gross amount. But after the net, you're looking at your paycheck and you start crying. We all know that. We all have gone through this. I've been a teacher, been a farmer, I've been in other types of jobs, but nobody really likes a tax. But if you want something, you got to pay for it. There's nothing free. Everybody thinks, I get this free check. It's not free. Somebody's going to pay for it down the line. But this tax is necessary. And I know a couple of your questions are about the individual taxes, but these taxes are necessary. Inflation, CPI, which is cost of living, the cost of living index, fuel, all of this has added to the cost of garbage pickup. It's not cheap like it used to be. And I'm going to try to limit my questions because I know you have additional questions, but this tax is important to continue this great program we have for our parish.
Okay. So currently, a lot of people don't know, they don't keep up with this. And again, I think that's why social media, this would be a great platform to get this message out. So things like this. So what is the total money collected by the police jury overall for our parish?
For the solid waste?
First, do you have a figure for everything, total collected, and then how much of that goes into the waste?
Okay. We collect a 3/4 cent sales tax existing. This has been going on for 30 years. A 3/4 cent sales tax today generate, I'm not going to be precise on the estimate, sure, but 3.2 million. To be precise, it's 3.25 million. That's what we're collecting today. And it's not enough. It's not generating enough to keep up with current inflation, fuel. We saw this problem years ago. We tried to pass a tax 3 years ago and didn't pass. But in order to continue the program, we must add to this tax. The tax is just outdated, but the 3/4 cents generates $3.2 million.
Okay. So how much of that currently, before, I know there was a rebid on a price increase for the garbage pickup. So currently, before the increase, how much money is required to keep that program running currently?
Okay. The 5-year contract, which ended last year, was at 2.2 million in expenses. This is residential pickup only. We do have additional programs. The residential pickup, again, 2.2 million is what we paid the last 5 years. We renegotiated just this year. It's at $3 million just at this year. There's no doubt that it's going to be, if we're going to renew the contract, we're looking at 3.7 million. So from last year to next year renegotiation, you're looking at about 1.5 million increase. And this is basically these companies, they want their wages to reflect inflation, reflect the fuel economy, reflect the CPI. They pay their people well. Believe me, they pay them well.
Right. So, in a nutshell, the reason for the increase is inflation, fuel going up. Basic inflation that we're all facing every day is the reason for the
Correct.
increase.
Correct.
Okay. Does this include the parish dump, or is this only the residential, only the garbage pickup?
What the numbers, the figures I just gave you is strictly residential pickup, and that includes small businesses. The additional programs in the parish, you're looking at an estimated over 600,000 estimated cost for additional programs like white goods, the parish dump site, the bins we have that you dump into. I can break this down if you want. But yeah, there are additional programs that run about 600,000 additionally each year.
Right. So the tax, if the taxes pass or fail, this wouldn't be affecting that in particular. This is mainly for the residential pickup at your home.
This is mainly residential pickup.
Gotcha.
And plus these programs, these great programs, we would like to continue.
Right. Okay. This is a big question that I hear often. So, in the property tax, it affects some people, it doesn't affect some people. Why not a larger, maybe a half-cent sales tax as opposed to the property tax?
And it's an excellent question. Each parish has a maximum of 10% sales tax. We're close to the maximum. If you add up the towns, the state, we're at 9.75 total. We could only go after the 0.25, which is a quarter cent. We wish we could have gone a half cent, but you cannot do this unless you go through legislation. And so we had to settle with a quarter cent that will generate 900,000. We had to add a millage so we could continue the solid waste program residential pickup. So we had to add, we estimated a 7 mils would be a safe number to deal with. But that's why we didn't go to a half cent. I wish we would have. I think it would have passed easily. Yes, people that have farm, timberland, big homes, they're going to pay more. I agree.
So, what you're saying, to make sure I understand, legally, without going through legislation, the most that the police jury can ask for is a quarter cent sales tax. You can't ask for any more than that on the ballot without permission through the state legislature.
That's it. Yes.
Okay. While we're talking about this, I got some figures pulled up just to kind of let the public know how it works and whatever. So, a quarter cent sales tax. Basically, and correct me if I'm wrong with these figures, if you spend $400, according to my figures, you'll pay about $1 extra of taxes, correct?
That with the new tax,
With
the quarter cents only,
tax
it's a
increase.
$1 increase.
Okay.
Yes.
If you pay $1,000, it'd be $2.50. So let's say you spend $4,000 in a month's time, that would be $10.
If
That's
the
on the
math's correct, yes.
right. So that's on the
Yeah.
sales tax. Now on the property tax, just to elaborate on that, I know many people don't know this, but there's homestead exemption allows you $75,000. So let's say your home is $75,000. If it appraises for that, you're not going to pay any taxes. You'll start paying taxes on the value over that. So if your home is $100,000 home, you'd be taxed on the $25,000, but it's not the $25,000. It's 10% of that. So it's basically
That's right.
$2,500, and then you would apply the millage tax. So basically, where I live is I'm not in a municipality. I live on the outside. My millage rate is 64.34. Some places might be 70 something. So that would mean where I'm at, $100,000 home, the increase would be about $17.50 because you're proposing a 7 millage.
Yeah.
So that's what your increase would be per year. A $200,000 home, this is where it starts going up because there's not, once you get past the $75,000 homestead, then all of it is accessible to taxing, which is the 10% of that. So basically, if you have a $200,000 home, you would pay an additional $87.50 per year. A $300,000 home would be $157.50, and a $500,000.
You did your homework.
I did. I like doing my homework, and I want to know
Good.
what I'm voting for. Like I said, I'm not
Yeah.
either way, yay or nay. I just like knowing what I'm doing. So I called the assessor's office just to get an understanding of how millage works. I wish more people would do stuff, but if not, I hope they listen to the program and share it. Now, on the business side of it, there's no homestead exemption, and it's also 15% instead of 10. So basically, $100,000 you'd pay. The businesses would come out paying more than the homeowners. So on $100,000, you'd pay $105 more than than you currently pay now. Now that is in a year. If your business appraises for $200,000, you'd pay about $210 more per year, and so on and so forth. You can just keep going up the chain with the math. So that's kind of how that works. So it would affect the businesses a little more than it would affect the homeowners. And I don't know what it would cost for private companies to come in and do this. All we know is currently now is the figures that I gave you, what it would be without it. So we'll move along from that. Is this?
Let me just make one point.
Sure.
Avoyelles Parish, when it comes to millage, we're not at the bottom of the list in the state. Only because we have a 30 mills road district 2 tax in the Plocherville, Mooreville, Centsport, DuPont, those areas. If we didn't have that 30%, we would be at the bottom in collection of the millage tax.
So you're talking about
that's the only reason we're not at the bottom.
So that's the tax proposal a couple of election cycles ago where the parish was divided into districts, and each kind of district had to vote for the increased sales tax for their roads, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
And out of the 4 districts, District 2 is the district that passed, and that was at 30 mills.
Okay. So going back to what we were saying with the businesses, and I gave some figures on what the increase would be. Is there any concern over maybe, albeit it's not a terrible amount, more so for businesses? Is there any concern of local inflation? Especially larger companies, Walmart or things of that, having to increase their prices to compensate for the increase in taxes?
That's hard to answer. There's a lot of things that affect labor costs and so forth. That's a hard question to answer, and I prefer not answering that. Yes, you're looking at farmers. You're looking at people that own property in Avoyelles. Their taxes will go up. There's some people that own thousands of acres, and they're going to pay big amounts, and we know that. But it is something we could reach out for. We didn't want to go overboard and say let's collect 10 mills instead of why 7. We looked at a safe number that will secure safety and keep up this program over the years to come. I, it's hard to answer that question. I don't think it will. I don't think it would amount to that much. I'm not a business. I was in foreman years ago. I do have property. I do have land, but it's hard to answer that question. But I don't think it's that much that will cause the increase to the consumer.
Sure. Okay. How hard would it be to take that step to get it for a half-cent sales tax approved by the legislature? Is that a big process? Does it have to be voted on locally first, or how would that process go?
That would be up to our state representative. He would, talking to him directly, he preferred not going that route,
Right.
because it raises taxes more. Right now, it wasn't an option. He did not want to pursue something like this or hope that we didn't persist him into pursuing something like this.
Okay.
I don't know the procedures,
Right.
but it would have to go through legislation and voted on by legislators.
Okay. Uh, Moving on now, a question that I hear is the sales tax, that is that on all items? So every dollar you spend, is it on that, or are there any kind of exceptions on food products, medicines, gas, or anything? Or if you spend $1 in Avoyelles Parish, that quarter-cent sales tax will be applied to that dollar no matter what?
Where you do have exemptions, churches, schools, um, those sit in the parish, they're not charged, they're exempt when it comes to taxes. There are some nonprofit organizations, I wouldn't be able to name any, but that are not charged sales taxes also. As a coach, when we bought years ago through the school, if it was uniforms, we didn't get paid for, weren't charged a sales tax on this. When it gets to medicine, gas, I'm not sure. Except for the entities I mentioned, yes, everybody's charged sales tax.
So basically, the current exemptions, if there be, then nothing changes from that. Whoever's currently getting
Right,
exempted, there won't be anything additionally.
right.
Okay. So we mentioned that after I believe you said 5-year contract, it's a renewal for the garbage pickup, and they've increased the price drastically. Have y'all gotten bids from any other companies for this service here?
Yes, we did. We went after other companies. I'm not going to start naming them, but there was 3, maybe 5 companies that we requested a bid. We took out bids. Most of these bids were over 4 million, which is over the 3.7. And of course, we were able to negotiate at least for 1 year with Solid Waste Connection or Waste Connection. We were able to negotiate for just this year at 3 million. They wanted a lot more, but we wanted an opportunity to take it to the people to see if they wanted to continue, or take it to the public to see if they wanted to continue this program.
Okay. You may not be able to answer this, but will this be the last tax increase, or down the line will there need to be more, or how does this pan out with tax increases?
I did answer that question, and it's not. It is a good question. I have been asked that question quite often. Hopefully, in my lifetime, no. I'm hoping to serve a few more years on the jury. For 30 years, the 3/4 cents was able to keep up with the program. We will have a surplus of 800,000, depending what the contract comes out to. There are some great programs we are looking into, maybe options like picking up litter down the parish roads. This is a major issue. The sheriff's department used to do it, but there's all kind of issues financially, and we're trying to, or hopefully we can assist the sheriff in getting a pickup program, live a pickup program throughout the parish.
And I guess it's fair to point out as well, from the 2010 census, I believe the population in Avoyelles Parish was 42,000, and I believe in the 2020 census it had decreased to 40,000. May not be much, but every dollar spent, that is less revenue. So if these taxes fail, what happens to the garbage? I mean, do we pile it up on the side of the road, or what's going to happen? Will it be immediately, or where do we go from there?
No, we've talked about options. I prefer not discussing the options. I will mention maybe a couple of them. Grant Parish did what they took solid waste bins, 40-ton bins, put them at different locations, and I think they're out of it now, or they're getting out of it. It's just a mess. These bins overfill. People throw everything from deer carcass to crawfish to too many bags to mattresses. We attempted to do this at one time at the parish barn. Matter of fact, it was 20 years ago. I was president, and we put 3 bins out at the parish barn outside the gate. And over the weekend, and there was a particular holiday, and I'm not sure exactly what the holiday was, but over the weekend and the holidays, the trash just overfilled, and there was trash outside, trash going into the yards, and all kind of issues happened. Yeah, I don't think this is a good option. It might be something we want to look at, but I don't think it's a good option for this parish. As far as your question, exactly what are our options? We do have the three-quarter cent sales. We'll be able to continue the programs such as picking up white goods. If you have a hot water tank, a freezer, a TV, a mattress, you want it picked up, you go put it on your shoulder, you call the parish barn, you give them a description, you give them your address, and we'll pick it up within the week. That's a great program. We have a great program at the parish barn. We're not going to pick up a barbecue pit or a swing set that you didn't disassemble, but you can bring it, or you can bring the refrigerator if you want.
Okay, so we back. We had a little connection issue, but we're back now. I believe you were talking about
the parish barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a great site. We'll take a few tires. It's not a site for commercial. It's strictly for residential. If you want to bring your mattress, it's a great site. We made a big improvement years ago up until now. But for years you had to drive up to the bin and throw the bags, mattress up into a bin. Now you drive up on a ramp, throw it downward into a bin. So it's a real nice facility we have. We've really improved on the parish barn.
Okay, so that kind of leads into my next question. What would happen to the current taxes, the three-quarter cents and everything? So some of that money is used for the garbage pickup. So if the two taxes, and they both have to pass for this program to continue, correct? Yes. So if they fail, what happens to the current money that was going into that program? Which that would be.
We will continue programs with the three-quarter cent sales tax. The jury would have to decide what they want to actually do. It would have to be a jury decision. But we will continue and just phase out the waste program as far as pickup, tire collection, pickup at litter sites, picking up tires, different programs that fall under the program. And it would just phase out over the next 5 years when the public will have the option of voting for it or against it.
Okay. One more question. What happens if one tax passes but not the other? Does it go away, or is it used for something? What would happen if one tax passes without the other? Where does that money go to?
That particular money, if one would pass, we cannot continue residential pickup. Uh, One is the sales tax. Let's say the sales tax would pass. My option would be to not levy this tax, cancel it out. That would be my recommendation because it's basically for residential pickup. And these are some things the jury will have to decide. Election night, I have a meeting, and I will plan a special meeting if both taxes don't pass for the Thursday night. We can decide what direction we're going. If one passes or both doesn't. But I'll have a special meeting 2 nights or Thursday night to decide what direction we're going in and start making plans for private companies to come into our parish and start private collections. And those private collections are going to be expensive. Uh, we've been using a figure of $45 to $48. That's what they pay in Rapides
Per month.
But we have heard of rumors of up to $80 per month.
Okay.
I don't think our people would want a bill each month at $45 to $65 a month for garbage pickup. This is a great program. It's one of the few programs in the state, and it's a program I really would like to see continue in Avoyelles.
Right. Okay. Well, Coach, that's about wraps up all the questions that I have for you. If you have anything you would like to leave with the voters, anything you would like to say, the floor is yours.
The solid waste program in Avoyelles is unique. Not many parishes have this. This is something for the Avoyelles Parish people. It's not for the police jury. I know people are angry at police jurymen, at the police jury as a whole. I know we're not perfect. I know you have bad roads, but this is a program for Avoyelles Parish. Our predecessors 30 years ago had this program, came up with this idea, and really it's been a great program. Other programs have been added. Solid waste, the Born site, you have the white good pickup, you have cleaning up areas of litter. There's many great programs that fall under this. If the tax passes, both taxes must pass. Please remember that. There's two taxes. One's a millage and one is a sales tax, and they both must pass. And this is something that Avoyelles Parish has gone in a positive direction. And I'm asking the people out there, don't find excuses not to vote for it. Find excuses or at least one excuse to vote for it. And let's continue this solid waste program in Avoyelles Parish.
Well, there you have it, folks. Straight from the president of the police jury. We hope everybody does their homework with everything coming up, the amendments and whatnot. I will be doing a video on the amendments coming soon. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. If you have any questions or comments, it's going to be in a YouTube link, even though you're looking at it on Facebook. That's to get the traffic and everything to my YouTube channel. But put all your comments on Facebook so that all the comments can be in one area, one location. And remember, keep everything respectful and on topic for this particular thing. And Coach Roy, thank you so much for joining the program today. And,
Thank you, Lance.
and in the future, you're invited to come back if there's any word or message you need to get out. This will be shared. People will watch it. It will be spread. And your message will get across from right here on the other side.
Thanks, Lance. Proud of you, bud.
Thank you. You have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.